The Caribbean just became the center of a high-stakes standoff, a geopolitical chessboard where the stakes are incredibly high, and the players are powerful nations with conflicting interests. This region, known for its stunning beaches and vibrant cultures, is now the focal point of a tense and potentially explosive confrontation. The tension is palpable between Venezuela and the United States, two nations with a long history of political and economic friction. This latest episode is just another chapter in their complex relationship, but it has the potential to escalate into something far more dangerous. In early September 2025, a U.S. military strike destroyed a vessel off Venezuela's coast. The explosion was massive, sending shockwaves through the international community and raising questions about the legality and motivations behind the attack. The U.S. claims the ship was linked to a powerful criminal network called the Tren de Aragua, a notorious organization involved in drug trafficking and other illicit activities. According to U.S. officials, this strike was a necessary action to curb the influence of this dangerous group. However, the human cost was significant. 11 people lost their lives in the attack, leaving families devastated and communities in mourning. The tragedy has sparked outrage and calls for accountability from various human rights organizations. Following this event, the U.S. sent more fighter jets to Puerto Rico, a strategic move aimed at bolstering its military presence in the region. The skies over the Caribbean are now filled with the roar of fighter jets, a constant reminder of the escalating tensions. Additionally, the U.S. has increased naval patrols in the Caribbean, a show of force intended to deter any further provocations. These patrols are a clear signal to Venezuela and other nations in the region that the U.S. is prepared to defend its interests. Officials say these moves target drug trafficking, a persistent problem that has plagued the Caribbean for decades. The U.S. government argues that a strong military presence is essential to combat the flow of illegal drugs into the country. But critics worry about rising tensions in the region. They argue that the increased military activity could lead to unintended consequences, including the potential for a full-scale conflict. The situation is a powder keg, and any misstep could ignite a dangerous escalation. Venezuela's response was swift and decisive. President Nicolas Maduro quickly mobilized 25,000 troops to coastal and border areas, a move that underscores the seriousness with which Venezuela is taking this threat. The sight of Venezuelan soldiers marching in formation is a stark reminder of the country's readiness to defend its sovereignty. Maduro has promised a tougher fight against drug smuggling, aligning his rhetoric with the U.S. narrative but with a distinctly Venezuelan twist. The government is framing this as a battle for national security, a fight to protect the country from external threats. The government says it's about national security, a claim that resonates with many Venezuelans who feel their country is under siege. The narrative of defending the homeland is a powerful one, and it has rallied significant support for Maduro's actions. But some see it as a show of strength, a way for Maduro to consolidate power and distract from domestic issues. The political rallying and displays of military might are as much about internal politics as they are about external threats. Across Latin America, leaders like Brazil's President Lula are urging caution. They are calling for diplomacy and dialogue, warning that a military confrontation would be disastrous for the entire region. The voices of reason are advocating for a peaceful resolution to this crisis. They warn that more U.S. warships could destabilize the region and make diplomacy harder. The presence of these warships is a double-edged sword. While they provide security, they also heighten the risk of miscalculation and conflict. Meanwhile, legal experts are debating whether the U.S. strike followed international law. The legality of the action is under scrutiny, with some arguing that it was a justified act of self-defense, while others believe it crossed a line. The question, did it cross a line or was it justified self-defense? This debate is not just academic, it has real-world implications for international relations and the rules that govern the use of force. As both sides dig in, the Caribbean faces uncertainty. The beautiful coastlines and tranquil waters are now overshadowed by the specter of conflict. The region is holding its breath, waiting to see what will happen next. Will this standoff end in cooperation or lead to more conflict? The answer to this question will shape the future of the Caribbean and potentially the broader geopolitical landscape. The world is watching, hoping for a peaceful resolution but bracing for the worst. Subscribe for clear updates on this evolving story. Stay informed as we continue to monitor this high-stakes situation and bring you the latest developments.